Good morning. Today we have a fairly short story from you from John chapter 4, beginning in verse 46. So I'll go ahead and read it to us, and then we'll go from there. So he came again to Cana in Galilee, where he had made the water wine. And at Capernaum there was an official whose son was ill. When this man heard that Jesus had come from Judea to Galilee, he went to him and asked him to come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. So Jesus said to him, "Unless you see signs and wonders, you will not believe." The official said to him, "Sir, come down before my child dies." Jesus said to him, "Go, your son will live." The man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him and went on his way. As he was going down, his servants met him and told him that his son was recovering. So he asked them the hour when he began to get better, and they said to him, "Yesterday." At the seventh hour, the fever left him. The father knew that was the hour when Jesus had said to him, "Your son will live." And he himself believed, and all his household. This was now the second sign that Jesus did when he had come from Judea to Galilee. Okay, so we get another story about Jesus doing a miracle, the second one, the first one being water to wine. And this is actually kind of interesting in that a man comes to get healing, and Jesus actually kind of says something critical of him at first. He tells him that unless he sees signs and miracles, he won't believe, meaning the man didn't have the right sort of belief. He needed to see something. So the man actually then just asks Jesus to come again. He just says, "Hey, just come. Like, my son's dying. Like, who cares whether or not I believe you? Just come." And then Jesus tells him to go and let his son live. Like, just, you don't need me to come. You don't need to see this happen. And so the man actually does decide that he will believe and trust Jesus, and that he will go and trust that Jesus will do it, even if he doesn't see what Jesus is doing. So that's actually kind of an interesting issue that's going on right here. There's the issue of, can the man trust Jesus if he doesn't see Jesus take the action? And in the end, when he hears that the boy recovered, he trusts that Jesus actually did it, that even though he didn't see Jesus do the miracle, like it wasn't like Jesus was physically present, he is able to believe. And I think that that actually is a similar situation that we often find ourselves in, right? We ask Jesus to answer our prayers, and then what a coincidence, it happens. Is it because Jesus did it, or is it not? Well, we have to ask ourselves that question. Is it a coincidence, or is it actually the work of God? And I think what we should do is be much more willing to trust that it's actually the work of God. That the answer to our prayers is the answer to our prayers because God did it. He's in control of everything, and so he's the one who allowed it to happen. And he's the one who made it happen many times too. So, at any rate, it's a challenge of trust, because we're often faced with that idea of, can we believe even when we don't see? And so I think our intellectual question and our application question are kind of similar. The intellectual question is just, what does it mean to believe when we can't see? And why is that so important? And then the application question is just, where are you doubting because you're not seeing? And what would it look like for you to really trust instead of doubting? So that's what I'd like for you guys to just be thinking about over the next rest of the day, and look forward to speaking with you tomorrow for our Sunday service. Talk to you later.